All right, hello again, guys. Welcome back to Ultra Kellen Real Estate. First, as always, thank you very much for all the people who subscribe to the channel, who's liked videos, who shared it with their pages on Instagram and Facebook. Greatly appreciate it. So, in my last video, I talked about not wasting your broker's time. I talked about doing drive-bys. So, in drive-bys, going past a property, seeing the outside of it and the neighborhood before you actually call a broker to have them get you inside the property. And today, I want to talk about after you do all that, or and sometimes even before, you gotta figure out what do you actually want to do. Do you want to flip properties or do you want to be a landlord? Now, me personally, I've never done a flip. I've always been a landlord. And so I always recommend people to start that way because, in my opinion, it's just easier. So if you look at it, becoming a flipper, it sounds attractive to a lot of people, but you have to really realize that when you watch those shows on HGTV, they're taking maybe what could be a 6 month to a 7 month period and they're condensing that into a 30-minute show. And I think a lot of times they're making it seem a lot easier than what it could be. Being a flipper, stuff is always gonna come up unexpected that can delay the process of getting the flip done and also getting the flip sold. So for instance, let's say maybe you estimated 6 to 7 months that may take you, or maybe you thought you'd be a little bit quicker, maybe 3 to 4 months. If for some reason you start having delays, and trust me, in real estate, once you start renovating a project, and that's whether you're renovating something to flip or whether you're renovating something that's to buy and hold and to rent out to other tenants, you're always going to have delays. It's just guaranteed pretty much. And I really tell people, especially if you have no experience, to start as a landlord. Now, if you grew up in a family where your dad or your mom or your uncle or your brother, they did flips, or maybe you're a contractor yourself, or maybe you're an HVAC guy, or maybe plumbing very well, then maybe if you start with a flip, okay, maybe that might be a little bit different. But for the person just looking to get their foot in the game, I always recommend for them to be a landlord first. Being a landlord in most cities, especially if you're able to get into a 4 unit building with a 3.5% down FHA loan payment, if nothing else, you can always guarantee you'll make some money. And of course, you'll always be able to guarantee, especially with the 4 unit, that you'll do more than just break even. And that's even with you living in the property if you do want to be an owner occupant. And so you can look at it very quickly that your mortgage will be this, and you could rent the certain apartments out for that, and you already look at it and you already can figure out your bills and you'll make some money. Versus being a flipper, with this delay, that delay that happens, it's just too much uncharted territory you're going into for your first go around. And the last thing you want to do is your first time being in real estate is that you get burned on a bad deal. You go into a property thinking you could buy it for 100 grand, you put 30 grand and work into it, now you can sell for 300 grand, and it just doesn't work out that way. So I always tell people, maybe get a little bit of experience first as a landlord under your belt, and then for some reason, if you want to go into flipping, and then you maybe want to take those chances where you can make 100 grand in one deal, then go into that world. All right. So as always, like and subscribe to the video, like the channel, subscribe to the channel, and also if you want to, you can find me at Ultra Kellen. That's ULTRAKELLON on Instagram and Twitter. And talk to you guys soon. All right.